Okay, before I realized what was happening, my phone had died, so I've come back to the GoPro. And really all I've done is I've stacked the cakes. There's 5 cakes here. I've stacked and I've added fresh strawberries between each layer. And that was a customer request. Normally I wouldn't put fresh fruit between the layers, but you give the customer what they ask for. So fresh strawberries between the layers. And I have to say that with this Italian buttercream, this is going to be delicious. Delicious. Okay, so we have our fresh strawberries. I really don't want the juices seeping out, so I'm gonna add a border around the outside. We are still gonna carve this, so you're gonna lose some of that, but I wanna make sure that I'm keeping all that freshness in there. Okay, last tier. And like I said, I've got 2 6-inch and I'm adding 3 4-inch. And this cake is a one-time cake. I've never done this before, so you're learning right along with me. I've done other cakes, structured cakes, so I have a general idea of what I'm doing. I'm gonna save the plastic wrap to put around my board to keep it clean as we go. All right, so there we go. We have our 5 cakes stacked. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep the saran wrap because I'm going to be carving this into a teardrop shape. And carving can get kind of messy, so we just want to make sure that we capture as much of those crumbs as possible. It is a little wobbly, but no worries. All right, so again, this is what we're going for. So let me move some of this out of the way and get out my carving knife. If you don't have a carving knife, you can use a kitchen knife with a serrated edge. But basically I'm going to hold this up and kind of use that as a diagram to carve down. And where's my bowl? Here's my bowl. We're going to keep the scraps from the carving in this bowl because we're going to make a cake dough, kind of like Play-Doh, but a cake dough. So we're just going to carve around till we come into, just throw your pieces into the bowl. And like I said, I'm just going to use that as a diagram. I'm going to carve down all the way around the cake. Just kind of make it as Charizard looking as possible. And hopefully get a teardrop out of this. If not, we'll come back and we'll do more carving until we get that teardrop shape. If you're using a carving knife, be very careful. I cannot tell you how many times I've cut myself with this thing. And as you can see, he's kind of got a long torso. So we're just gonna keep carving until we get it. it gets slimmer at the top. So throw all your pieces because you will need them. We still have to form the legs. So remember that. Throw all your pieces of scrap. And if you do cut off too much in one area or another, you can use those pieces to build it back up, because we are going to put ganache on the outside of this. So we've got kind of the general form. His shoulders are a little wide. His belly is bigger than anything. So we're just gonna keep going. Until we kind of get the rounded teardrop look. This is gonna, I'm getting right in front of the camera. This is gonna be a lot of cake. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep as many pieces as possible. The carving takes some time. It takes a little time getting used to it as well. If you've never done it before, it's just, I promise, just trying to make sure that your dimensions are right. And that's basically what I keep my diagram for. You notice his neck is a little thinner, and then it comes down to his body. We're going to kind of leave the body portion as is his shoulders, I guess you could say. So the top two are going to get cut back quite a bit to kind of come down into that tier below. And we'll come back in front of the camera, and we're going to carve more away from the top two tiers. And I'm dropping it on the floor. Have cut away some of those strawberries just because I'm trying to get that neck into the shoulders kind of feel. So we're almost there. We're getting that teardrop, and that's basically all we're looking for, is that teardrop drop down look. Just where it goes from one tier to the other, kind of dropping down. Well, we pulled out a few strawberries already. That's okay. said he had to be perfect. And if you're looking for perfection when doing these types of cakes, forget about it. Alright, so now we've got enough of it carved down in front. We're just going to keep spinning until we get, like I said, that teardrop kind of look. Alright, don't worry about the legs, those are going to come later. Keep spinning. Keep spinning. So, we're about as teardroppy as we're going to get. My strawberries are starting to come out on that top layer, and that's okay. That is okay. Remember that his belly is bigger than the rest of him. And then we're also going to use cake to fill in under for his belly and his legs. And if you hear something in the background that sounds funny, that is the dishwasher running. It's like I'm always washing dishes, always. And if you're a baker, cake decorator, you know this. I need someone just to come and do dishes sometimes. Okay. We're getting that. It's kind of broad around his shoulders. So I know this would be our gauntlet and the crap is she doing. Okay, I think we're there. Like I said, we did damage a few strawberries, but I could put a couple back, I think. Alright, I think we're as close to Charizard as I could possibly be. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the carving knife out of my way so I don't that's pretty good. A couple of little spots. I mean, just get a feel for what you're looking at. Now he has wings, so I don't want to cut too much off the back because his wings are going to need to be supported. Alright, so I am not the traditional show you with a ruler. I'm a more hands-on, look at it type cake artist. Traditionally, my mentor, whom I love to watch and see her put things together, she does the whole, everything is measured and gives you exact measurements and things like that. And I'm sorry if that's kind of what you're looking for. I am not the one. I am kind of go and feel and look and come back and look again, and I'm liking it. So I have kind of my teardrop shape. And then of course we have to build out the legs, right? So that's gonna be later. But right now I'm gonna get a coat of buttercream on this. Change gloves and wipe up my mess. It's inevitable that I always get buttercream on the floor. However, I do make sure that I get it cleaned up so my shoes aren't tracking all through it. Okay. So we're just going to take this and set it aside. Clean up our mess a little bit. Do not throw away the cake scraps, right? You throw away the cake scraps, you had nothing to build out the legs and the chest and the shoulders. So keep the cake scraps. And I have leftover strawberries for me. All right, so now the fun part. To frost it up with this delicious buttercream. And right now we just want to get a layer over it. We don't really care too much about how it looks right now. We just want to get this moisture sealed in to this cake. Stop the strawberries from running out. Am I still recording? I guess I am. Like I said, this filming stuff is all new to me. And if you haven't done it yet, then you'll know once you start. Alright. So we're getting that layer on, and we are going to have to get this to set up. So I think better than that, I'm just going to take the rest of what I have in this bag and just kind of put this all over so I'm not wasting it. And then we'll go back in and smooth it down. Like I said, right now we just want to get that crumb coat on so that we can start building him out once this gets set up. I like his little belly. And then his head and his his neck and his legs. We might have to build that out a little bit with modeling chocolate, but we'll see. Let's just go with what we have right now. And we're gonna get that all covered. You guys, this is gonna be so delicious. Looks like a volcano kind of right now, doesn't it? I promise it's gonna be Charizard. Alright, so the fun part is when I have to carry it to the refrigerator. I have to actually carry it downstairs. It will not fit in my refrigerator up here, so we have to carry it downstairs. I am not going to film that in case I drop it. But I recommend finding something that's close to you to carry these, because once you start getting the modeling chocolate and the fondant on, it gets heavy. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, I may seriously put ganache on this. We're gonna see how this sets up, and then we'll see for sure. And I am going to get a piece of stock, cardstock, acetate, whatever you want to call it. And kind of manipulate the corners and the curves. A little smoother before I actually take it and put it into, see, you can cut cardstock, you can use acrylic smoothers. I mean, basically that's what this is. It's just a smoother to give it a better texture, so I'm not making it all rough looking. Works pretty well. And then we just run it up each side, kind of smooth it out. Because remember, we are going to add modeling chocolate to this, and so we don't want a whole lot of lumps and bumps and craziness going on, right? Okay. All right, we still have quite a ways to go, but before you know it, he will start taking shape, and that's amazing. I love putting these together.